Oh, I'm Catherine from Julie's Bicycle. I'm Catherine Langebeer from Julie's Bicycle, and I am here really, I understand actually it was the Ministry of Environment who supported the idea of something looking at digital content and the green or sustainability implications of that. That's what I work on in the UK, and I was invited to speak to that issue. Is there a lot of work to be done in greening the music industry or the creative industries? I think so. I think we're at the beginning of the journey, really. There's a lot of perception that if something becomes digital, then the environmental impacts of it disappear because we're no longer transporting something around and we're no longer having to make a physical product made of atoms. But that is really an oversimplification. So there is a lot to do just in shifting that perception to realize that a lot of energy infrastructure is required, a lot of material, once you have your digital file, is required to play it. So shifting the perception, first of all, to consider that there are indeed impacts is one thing. And then the next thing is, of course, to say, what are we going to do about it, and what, as a creator or as a distributor or as a commissioner or as a consumer or a fan, what's my role in minimizing those impacts? What am I going to do about it? So I think that we're at the beginning of that journey. Yeah.
My name's Oisin Lunny. I'm the country manager, MD of UK operations for Sulaka, owners of the Habbo Hotel, the world's largest and fastest growing virtual world and social network for teenagers. Habbo is a virtual world where teenagers can go and create an avatar of themselves in seconds. They can personalise it, change their looks, change their clothes, and then they get given a room to start with. Once they're in world, they can decorate their room, they can go out into the world, explore, play games, make new friends, have conversations, meet pop stars, meet celebrities, get involved in competitions, run their own version of Big Brother, pretty much do whatever they want in the virtual world of Habbo. We have today over 144 million registered accounts, and in terms of traffic, we do about 14 million uniques every month. Because Habbo has built up a massive community of teenagers globally, and all of our hotels are locally managed and locally contained, if you like, advertisers and music companies can actually market their brands and market their bands to teenagers in a massively effective way, building up real communities of interest very quickly in a short space of time.
My name is Anna Hildur Hildubransdóttir, and I'm the managing director of Iceland Music Export and the producer of You're in Control. It was great for us. The participants figure, they increased about 40% between years. We had 170 people last year. We had between 280 and 90 people this year. So that was great. We're really happy that we managed to get 50-50 men and women doing the panels, which is very important to us. And this was also the first time where we were mixing all the creative industries and mixing debates in the panels between the creative industries. And that was a really exciting experiment, and I think most people were quite happy that this was and felt that they were getting something out of the debate, which is important for us. So we're waiting to get feedback on blogs as well and see, what is really sticking after the conference. But sort of first on-site survey tells us that we've succeeded.
For a musician to green their activities right away, they need to take stock of what they're already doing, what the impacts are of their activities. And for a lot of musicians, their professional life as a creator sometimes melds into their personal lives. Lots of people aren't full-time, or they have to supplement their income from other ways. So that's a little bit tricky to get a handle on what my impacts as a musician are. But the research that we've done shows that the key areas of impact for the music industry and the ones that are relevant to a musician are around the energy used for fans to come to gigs, the transport it takes for them to actually come and see you, the energy and materials used to produce a physical CD product, if that's what you're creating, the energy used to distribute a digital version as well. And also, of course, there's just the energy associated with running your office, or if your office is your home, then running your home. So in all of these areas, a musician can be starting to think about what they're doing.
We also had not maybe so much a conclusion, but a quest for the future for the green workshop, that we would have a re-education on how digital is also physical, because it sort of wastes energy. It needs physical format to be possible.
In terms of what the musician can do, it depends a little bit on how much influence they have as to how much change they can make at the start. They need to think about what kind of packaging they're using for their CD. That's something to look at. Card is 95% less than plastic in the best scenarios, so that's a huge saving in packaging. And if they can start to work towards moving away from plastic to card, whether it's talking to their record company or they're doing it themselves independently, the carbon savings are really huge, so it's an important thing. And I also think that actually the product is nicer, and as we increasingly have the digital offering, we need to distinguish the physical offering, and it needs to be something that people actually want and value and connects them to the creator, the musician.
Yes, definitely. We have had a conversation with CEO Pop now that we will have collaboration. That's a German conference happening in Cologne. So we're looking at how we can develop on a European level through collaborations. We've also had an approach from a British conference called Between, which is very exciting for us. So we would be exploring over the next weeks and months what that means and how we can develop some collaborations. But the plans for next year is to continue developing and to hopefully to remain a debate between for the 12 months in between the conferences.
Yeah, what does the creative industries need to think about in 2010? They need to think about sustainability in a broader sense than they're thinking about. They're thinking about sustainability in the context of digital models, shifting away from the physical, tangible products, new distribution methods, new delivery methods, new ways of people consuming music, consuming films. They also need to be thinking about not just, am I economically viable, but am I environmentally viable? And increasingly these two things are coming closer and closer together, and we're not going to see those come apart. They're just going to keep on moving closer together. So I think introducing this consideration is really important, and I think it's where they need to go. People talk a lot about, I have spoken a lot at this conference about authenticity and what it means, I suppose, in terms of the fan and the artist and the connection, or just what it means as a business to be an authentic business. And we had some really inspiring words from that early on in the conference.
Well, at Habbo, it's massively important for us to understand our audience, to listen to what they want, and we do this on a daily and weekly basis. We also upgrade the platform every month, so we'll introduce some new features, we'll make some technology improvements, and periodically we make massive improvements to the platforms and do major patches. The last one that we've done was actually moving the entire platform from Shockwave, which is an older technology, over to Flash, to make it easier to embed on partners' websites and easier for new visitors to get involved, because most people have Flash pre-installed. So as a company, it's our job to really listen to what our users want, measure what they're doing, make sure we are helping them to have a good time, because ultimately the users in Habbo, the teenagers who come in there, are the world. Without our audience we'd be nothing. So we have to listen to them all the time and give them continual improvements and give them what they want, and listen to what they're telling us.
What do you think the creative industry should be thinking about in 2010?
I think they should be thinking about the opportunities that are out there, and I think it's actually time to be optimistic now, because we've solved a lot of things regarding distribution and things like that. I think we should be thinking about collaborations and how we can actually interact and create more exciting ideas for people. And I think it's an old and new message in this new internet era. We should be engaging.